What's that guy's name again? I always forget. I keep saying Shigu Arath for some reason. The Celestial, because that's from Destiny. That's from Destiny 2. I get it
Isn't like
confused.
Asteram or some shit?
I keep saying either Asterisk or Shigu Arath.
I might because I have the fucking cast in front of me and I don't even know the name.
Well, the voice actor for him, I'm not too sure.
I mean, they should still have the name.
Oh, Karan, that's his name. Karun. That was the Celestial all this time. Nonsense.
I'm surprised like they made like the Celestials like look the same, like and not like their comic book counterparts, like Eternity or like I mean the Judge looks like the comics, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they didn't have like Galactus or like Eternity or like the other ones.
See, Galactus is weird because I heard that Galactus apparently eats celestial babies. Apparently, like I heard that, like that was his role in this, was like to kind of balance everything out, which is really weird. Yeah, I can't wait to see Galactus.
Be so random if they just had like Unicron there for some reason.
Unicron,
the Living Tribunal or some shit.
Well, we ended Transformers like Michael Bay's Transformers like on a complete cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot her name. But yeah, that'll work.
Did you see that trailer for that movie Moonfall?
Oh yeah, see everything just matches.
Every time I see that, I just think it's like Transformers: Dark of the Moon.
It's basically like that, right?
It's basically the same. There was another movie, I think it was called Apollo 18 or something.
I seen that, yeah, with the aliens.
It was like a horror movie or something
with the aliens. Yeah, it's like found footage or something like that. Those little parasite things.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I feel like anytime like Hollywood does anything like moon related, it's always some horror film or some shit.
It's always something bad. I mean, because the moon's so boring. So what else can you do with it? It's so boring. You gotta like put some scary shit there.
Right.
It's like nothing nice.
They touch down and then they
like instead of that? Michael Myers.
No, it's like instead of the boot, like the footprint, it's just our podcast logo.
I feel like we have to get someone to animate that,
right?
But like CG, like pay $500 or $600 for like 4K CG.
We got to get a fucking Elon to put our logo on the next rocket ship.
On a Tesla, there's like a little Easter egg. How right. Tesla has so many Easter eggs. Just our first episode.
Like just he just like Defenty like does all the like the interface animations.
Has the song
like instead of Miss Minutes, it's just our fucking logo.
Everybody would be scared. Everybody already seems afraid of us anyway, so everybody would be more scared.
What they really found on Apollo 13 was our first episode that you didn't upload to YouTube because it's so bad.
They got transmission like sound waves, so it's just like they see.
Why do you think they cut it off for the audio for like 2 minutes? Because they didn't want to hear our fucking audio.
Fuck was that?
Oh shit! It's Michael Myers.
They might as well. It's so sad, but it's true. As I said earlier, it's funny if people actually listen to us.
Right. I know you guys. If you guys are actually listening to right now, like you the OG, like you family now. You. Part of the Dom Toretto family.
They probably are just family and friends. Right? They're not even regulars.
Hey, Calderon.
Right. I mean...
Don't fuck me, Tony. Don't you ever fuck
me. No! That's everybody when they...
Oh my god. Can we put a clip of that at the end of the episode? Just Frank Lopez's exaggerated ass death.
Try to find it. We already got
so funny.
Once.
Like it's so bad because I don't know if it's just like me because like I rewatch like mob movies all the time, but every time somebody dies, it just gets funnier and funnier.
Well, the stuff you've been ruining like mob movies for me.
Well, you ruined it for me. That's why I like.
It started with The Departed, and then which wasn't really a mob movie, but
no, it started with Newt Gunray in fucking episode 3. That's where it started. I know, might as well be Frank Lopez in that fucking Mustafar chamber, right?
Count Dooku was like to Newt Gunray, "Don't fuck me, dude. Dude, don't fuck me."
No, it's like Palpatine when he was like when he told them like Anakin was coming, he's like, "Manolo, shoot this piece of shit."
No.
Anakin, kill this piece of shit.
Yeah, with Count Dooku. He's like, do it. Oh my god.
Don't you ever fuck me, Anakin. Don't you ever try to fuck me. Why does Sosa say it in like the most sus? Like Like I can't take that scene seriously.
He's like well articulated, but like with a hinge of accent. But it's
Right.
just like it's so good. They like
It's like
did
he
all
kind
the
of like wants him to fuck him.
they did the best EQ audio EQ just for that line.
Right.
Which, like they made sure it was perfect.
Right. They put the boom mic like extra close on just to get that part.
I'm mad the audio still sounds better than us. Our
I mean,
audio-
that's not saying much, but shit.
Oh my god,
Our probably shirt has more compression than our audio file.
bro! Wait until you guys see our next videos. It's gonna be fucking wild, at least on our end.
Workflow wise,
Right.
if we get this project showing done right, hopefully.
Oh my god.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast with Dylan and Akram, your podcast for the latest news in entertainment and pop culture. Today, me and Akram are giving our thoughts on Marvel's most unique entry to the MCU yet, Eternals, directed by Chloe Zhao. Keep in mind there will be spoilers in this review, but I, for the most part, enjoyed it. It's very different from the MCU films. Almost feels out of place. I have a lot of thoughts. I want to touch on it. But Akram, I know you're knowledge in the lore of Eternals better than I am. I know a little bit like the origins of like the Celestials and the Deviants. But how did you receive this movie?
You know, it's very unique. It's one of those movies where like it's so the runtime is like really long, so you kind of have to.
I think Eternals was appropriate because it felt like an eternity to watch this shit.
It really did, you know. You just have to let it sit with you. I think the next day you'll probably appreciate it more because it's definitely high end themes, right? But as for origins, I feel like they took a lot of liberties with like just Celestials in general. They took a lot of liberties, like Crow, right? That was supposedly the main villain, but kind of in a way it was like three villains or anti-heroes, right?
Well, you know, I felt like there wasn't like a clear-cut villain in this, but I'm gonna touch more on it later. Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed it for what it is. I think I enjoyed it. It did feel a little bit boring. I'm not gonna lie, but visuals are stunning though. At least the scale. It's a huge movie. It really is.
Yeah, it's grand. It's very epic. I do agree. It did. We always talk about like pacing in movies. I don't know. I get that they needed a lot of like exposition in the beginning because kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, like these characters aren't very familiar to casual watchers, right? So you kind of needed that, history of the Eternals and what they've been through on Earth. And the trailer kind of gave that too. So I feel like they didn't need to be so heavy on it. Yeah, I think it was the same runtime as Endgame. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I
About
don't
like
know.
30 minutes or 20 minutes less. Yeah,
Probably
something like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's the same runtime, but I don't know. I think Endgame just had like a better like things were just moving like much faster.
Oh
As
yeah.
far as like story, I did like the story though. I think it was very interesting, and a lot of people are gonna be like divisive about this movie. I understand that, but I appreciated it for what it was. I think it dealt a lot with very like almost like Umbrella Academy, like with a lot of like the family ties. Um, it's like kind of like the inverse of Guardians of the Galaxy in a way. It's like because if you think of Guardians, like they all started separate and then they came together, right? But this one, it's like they started as like one family, right? And then they kind of just like broke apart in a way. I did like the cast though. I think the cast did a really good job. I enjoyed each character. I think they all had like their time to shine and just like give I think each one kind of like had their own character development too. Um, I don't know. It feels kind of out of like I said out of place for a Marvel movie. I don't know. I think because they do at times mention like other characters like Thor or Captain America or Iron Man. But we never really see like it's weird. It's like because usually Marvel movies, I'm so used to like cameos or appearances. But this one we didn't. I mean, other than the end credit scene, which I'm gonna touch on later. But yeah, we didn't really see like many. Like it would have been interesting to see like in the beginning, especially like excuse me. Like I feel like their introduction to Earth, they could have like gone through like the history of like because they're really like technically chronologically. They are the first people we see in the timeline of the MCU, right? So it could have been cool to see like I don't know, maybe like Shang-Chi's dad. Like, he's probably like the oldest character we've seen, or like the foundation of like Wakanda or something. It just would have been cool to see like different like civilizations building up towards like the main MCU. But I don't know, I liked it for what it was, and I think the relationship with the Deviants and the Celestials, it kind of felt like it reminded me. It reminded me of the Manhunters and the Guardians of Oa from Green Lantern in a way. So it's kind of like they're correcting their mistakes with the
That's a
Eternals
good
in a
one.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of what that reminded me of. But I liked each Eternal. I think they had their own like little personality quirks, and I liked each of their powers. I thought they're really cool. But what did you think of it?
Yeah, and I completely agree. And going back to just the liberties they've taken, I feel like some things were warranted because I think it actually makes the story better. Like for example, because originally the Eternals were made on Earth, right? Like way back when they were humans, right? And they were transformed into Eternals, and then you had deviants, and then you just had hominids, right? So it's like here, I feel like the relationship they really have to work to gain a relationship with Earth, right? And so I find it kind of beautiful that they fell in love with the people rather than, oh, the Earth's going to be destroyed. We were born already on Earth, right? So then they're going to say, well, this is our home. Instead, they had Olympia or whatever, right? And they thought that that was their home. So they dealt with a lot of themes, like you said, with just family. I always love that in movies and stuff, like even like Suicide Squad or something like that, where like they find that friendship. And in a way it feels isolating, right? They're very lonely. You have to think about it that way because they've lived so long, and if they fell in love, they lost so many people. So all they have is each other. So when you think about some of the deaths that we've seen, I felt like it was really impactful. And I didn't expect some people to die here. I was like, what? And so early on, right? Yeah, the pacing wise, I felt like it was kind of weird because it's kind of like the problem is weird that I'm comparing it to this, but that's the only thing I can think of. It's like The Last of Us Part Two, right? Everyone complains about the pacing because you go back to Abby and then Ellie. So like here, it's like it's almost jaunting, but I don't feel like it was aggressive where we see flashbacks. 'Cause I think it is important that we do see some things like why are they living civilian life styles, right? Um, Cass is amazing. Gemma Chan is amazing too. I always was a big fan of her from AMC's Humans. I think it's called 3.0 or something like that. That's where I originally saw her. Angelina Jolie too. I'm a big fan of Angelina Jolie. It's so weird to see her in an MCU flick. I think she did a great job, even if you say that she was kind of useless. I understand, but just her character, I felt like there's a type of cadence and just the little mannerism she has. I felt like was really impactful, especially on screen. And Richard Madden too. He's kind of like that anti-hero, kind of like he's on the lines of of an actual true superhero and close to a villain. Or which is funny too. I feel like what they set up, it's definitely actually Chloe Zhao actually she talked about this. She said that this is the most like superhero type of movie ever, which is weird because they do mention Superman, right? And they do mention Batman and stuff, but it's much more than that. And I feel like a lot of people will have trouble seeing that just because it's an MCU flick. But I feel like it's multi-dimensional, right? If you look between the lines and you really just try to think of the themes that's going on, it's about love. What would you do for the people you love in the grand scheme of things too? And everybody is kind of doing something for something they love or something they really need. Like even the Celestials, they're doing it, to make baby. Well, I say baby Celestials because if you guys know in the comics, Galactus actually eats Celestials, right? So I always say baby Celestials when they're born. But like, that's a Celestial. And even again Icarus. In the comics, Icarus name he took on a name Icarus because he had a son named Icarus, and he built the sun wings, right, to fly because the sun didn't adopted Icarus's powers, right. So, but he died. He fell to his death. So that's why he named himself Icarus. Here again, they took liberties. They changed it up. I would understand why they changed it, but I just find some of the imagery beautiful and very poetic too. I mean, obviously Icarus will commit suicide by flying straight to the sun. That was pretty cool. That was really cool. Gemma Chan, Cersei, and Dane Whitman, right? just that love. What would they do? And especially Dane, he's gonna become he is Black Knight, right? He's gonna take on his uncle's mantle of Black Knight, because in the comics his uncle is Nathan Garrett, right? And his uncle was a villain. So this is really cool to see what'll happen later. Um, yeah, honestly, oh, and even Ajax, right? Just her love between the Eternals, but she knows that she has like a duty, right? And just that back and forth. And Chloe Zhao, again, she has like phenomenal ideas, because she directed Nomadland, which actually won an Academy Award for Best Picture.
Didn't she
So,
also didn't she direct what was that Korean film? It was with Steven Yeun. Forget the
oh,
name.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Minari. What didn't she direct Minari?
I think I know what you're talking about, and let me just see right
I
here,
know. Let
because
me
we
verify
have to
myself.
we have to fact check Dylan, because Dylan's always
I'm notorious for for bad miscasting.
I don't see anything here about Minari. So,
Minari director. Let me see.
but yeah, while you're looking for that, I'll just continue. But I just you
Okay,
know,
no, it's not. But I would have
yeah,
thought. I don't know. I don't know why I think maybe because like she's a good. She handles like each character really well, and I feel like she really just has like I don't know something about her work, like she really like elevates the movie beyond a superhero film. It's like almost like I'm watching like a foreign film or something. Like just like it was very like cool to see like different like cultures, like just going beyond like every time like we watch like a Marvel film, it's always like I don't know like US based or something, right? Or like a certain like country or whatever. But here we're like all over the place, not even just like different countries, like different time periods, right? So just seeing like different civilizations, like Mesopotamia, like Babylon, Iraq, like all these different locations. I think they're just so beautifully represented. But yeah, like going back to the characters, like I okay, so Athena, like I will admit, like I don't know, like even the deviant prime, I guess, said it. Like I don't know, I just felt like I don't know, she could have done more. I don't know. I did like Angelina Jolie's like acting, um, but I don't know. I think like like they could have just I don't know did something more with her character. Gemma Chan, I liked as Cersei. I thought she was cool. I didn't really like feel of her as like a leader for the Eternals. Honestly, I felt like Festus did more or Druig in a way, but each character had their due, right? Even what was it fucking Sprite? I thought she was like a really cool like member of the Eternals, like that she had her little quippy moment. I think the little subplot with her hitting on or not well like crushing on Icarus was kind of weird. But I get where she's coming from because she wants to evolve, right? And I think in a way that's one thing the deviants have over the Eternals is that they can evolve, right, and become something more, whereas like the Eternals, even though they can live forever, they're kind of just like stuck in one form that they didn't choose, right? So I get where Sprite was coming from. Kingo was like cool, but it was kind of weird that they didn't show him in the last battle. He kind of just like dipped and was like, "All right,
I
peace,
didn't even
I'm out."
notice that, but that's weird. Yeah, that is weird.
Like he just went to make a fucking like Bollywood movie or some shit.
That was weird.
Yeah, and I'm fairly like I'm forgetting. Oh, what was it Makari? Like she was whooping
Right.
ass, dude. She was whooping Icarus's ass, and I thought I was watching like the final season of The Flash or some shit.
That
Like,
was fun. That was a fun fight.
if she doesn't end up in like fucking like the new Flash movie, I'll be upset.
Yeah, and Lauren Ritloff, she's obviously death, right? So, great representation, and also I just like the fact that they showed how these people will actually communicate still through
Through
ASL and
yeah,
stuff.
I thought
Yeah,
that was cool too. So it's not like just like different languages, right? It's like different forms of communication, right? So I thought that was cool. Um, what was it? I like Druid a lot. Druid was like one of my favorite characters just because he's a like I said, like there's no he has like potential to be a villain, but when you realize who like the true villains are, at the end of the movie, it's kind of like it elevates him more, like because he I think he honestly had like uh one of the biggest powers in this movie. I mean, Icarus obviously is like the strongest, but like Druid can like control minds, right, on a vast scale, like on some like Professor Xavier shit, right? So, and then he's kind of has like a god complex in a way. It's like he thinks he can take away like people's like emotions, but I do like that he recognizes that humanity's flaws is what makes them human, right? So yeah, he's one of my favorite characters in in the movie.
Yeah,
It was cool to see Richard Madden and Kit back after our long-awaited reunion from Game of Thrones.
How weird, right? I just felt like, wow.
I never thought I'd hear Kit say "I love Cersei" in a million years.
You see that? That's weird.
Yeah, it was weird. But yeah, and then Icarus himself. I mean, it's he started off like a Prince Charming character, and I don't know what it is about like this year. I think just like evil Superman or the trend this year with like Omni-Man and Homelander, and now I guess Icarus is next. Yeah, he was a fucking problem, man. I mean, he really like came off as like Peacemaker, or like yeah. I always like compare this movie to like The Watchmen. And Icarus is kind of like Ozymandias in a way, right? He thinks he's like he's what he's doing, like as terrible as it is for the betterment of society. So it was interesting just to see him, and he's powerful too, right? He can. I feel like you need fucking Captain Marvel to like stop him or some shit.
I think I heard from that like he's actually more powerful than Captain Marvel. Apparently.
Probably, I would imagine.
Yeah. I think that he's the most powerful that we've seen in the MCU film. We didn't even see his powers like showcased a lot here because he has way more powers in the comics too. Yeah.
Yeah, and Salma Hayek as Ajak, I really liked her. She really she plays that motherly figure really well. That she kind of like connects, like no matter what everybody's like agendas or ambitions are, they all can like respect Ajak. Even though she kind of did lie to them. But yeah, what did you think of like the reveal of like the Celestials and like the Earth like being destroyed and shit?
Well, from the comics, I knew this already. I knew that there was a hit. The Dreaming Celestial basically was in Earth's core, right? I've already known this, but the visuals are cool. I do like the redesigns for the Celestials. I find it, quite pretty, and I'm just trying to think now because I'm trying to think of the reveals. The reveal actually got me a little bit. I was like, I really didn't want Salma Hayek's character to die, Ajak. I was like hoping no one would die.
And so early too.
Yeah, I mean, at least we had flashbacks and stuff like that. But I was kind of like, oh man. And then plus Don Lee is Gilgamesh. Don Lee, I love Don Lee from Train to Busan. So like he was
awesome.
Yeah, Gilgamesh died. Gilgamesh is like a really important character too. If you really want to, like, I wonder if he's stronger than Icarus. I was just thinking about that. Like, could he really like take on Icarus? He probably can. But I also like that it kind of reminds me, which is funny, the Guardians of the Galaxy game where like they would put you in scenarios where certain Guardians can be used, right? And it just shows you that, oh, there's still a great team. Not one person is like severely overpowered against the rest because they could still take on Icarus. We saw Fastos doing the work on Icarus, right?
Right.
So everybody has this unique power that they could really take on any situation, right? So I think they're the perfect team without that hubris, but Cersei, I think Cersei was cool. Cersei has like a unique thing in the comics where like Cersei falls in love with like, or actually Cersei in a different universe falls in love again with Dane Whitman, but it's an evil Dane Whitman, and then she breaks up with him, and then he goes to the Prime Marvel universe and then tries to kill her and stuff. So like, I wonder how we're gonna see that. Honestly, I was really disappointed that we didn't see much about Black Knight. I know it'll be too much though, like added to this film.
It was already like 2.5 hours. I was like, my bowels are screaming to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's like, it was really cool. I like that like this movie leads way with so much intertextuality, because even we saw like a lot of kind of like 2001: A Space Odyssey imagery with, I forgot what's their ship called, but like it kind of reminded me of the monolith.
The Domo.
Yeah, the Domo, right? The Domo. The Domo is actually, I believe, a artificial
Japanese.
intelligence or something. No, it's artificial intelligence in the Eternals lore. or
Mm-hmm.
I believe something like that, or a person I forgot that can works with computers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they changed a lot though from the source material. That's I was really shocked that they went that far to change so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how certain things are going to play out. But what's cool about Marvel is they take underrated characters, right, and they boost them up, and they become like great characters, like in the comics now. Like we'll probably see a lot more of the Eternals. They have currently there's like a comic run going on right now. If you guys want to check it
Mm-hmm.
out. But Black Knight, I think we're gonna see a lot more. I'm confused about the ending because I never really seen Black Knight interact with Blade in the comics. So,
Mm-hmm.
but his sword has a blood curse, right? So it's the Ebony Blade. So the Ebony Blade has a blood curse, and every time he kills, I think he becomes more evil through it. So I think that's a nice
Mm-hmm.
caveat because that sword can cut through any living material or
It's
any material.
Valyrian steel or dragon glass.
Right. It could cut through a celestial. It is extremely OP, but that's cool that
Mm-hmm.
if it is cursed, which it kind of looked like it is cursed,
Mm-hmm.
that would happen. Yeah. I mean, it's really, I think, a character showpiece. It's it's sad too. I think the imagery is also sad. Like there's so much
Mm-hmm.
sexuality because, so for example, when what's her name? When Makari was running, right? And she found the spot, right? And they're trying to save humanity, but behind her was these oil rigs, right? Just that
Mm-hmm.
imagery just shows you like we're still destroying ourselves. And
Right.
the celestial, what's the judge? I call him a judge because I don't want to say asterisk by accident for his name.
Asterim or whatever the fuck.
Asterim, right?
Yeah.
He's basically, which happened in the comics, he will decide later, right? That was the cliffhanger. So it's up in the air. We don't really know if he'll come back or whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's sad because if this was in real life, we'll know right now that we're fucked, right? Because we're
Right.
not taking care of the earth, right? So we're doing this to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so it speaks volumes. Like everything just speaks volumes. It's like as if the Eternals were watchers, right? Instead of Utau.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they have that mentality that they're just so sad and are so they have so much post-traumatic stress from just seeing us destroy ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks volumes. I think this is like an important film. You know what's weird? I don't know if this is really important to the MCU because it doesn't feel like it did much to the MCU. When you think about it, it's like we have these characters, but how did it affect the MCU? We just have a new landmark, which is a giant celestial hand in the head,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that's it,
Right.
Everything's kind of left in the
I mean,
air.
other than like Black Knight and introducing Blade, I mean, it really
That's
didn't
it.
offer much.
Everybody just kind of went on their way. I mean, we do see, which I love this casting. I didn't expect it. I didn't see the leaks, but we do see Harry Styles as Eros, aka Star Fox. Which no, that's cool. I love
It's
Harry
my
as an
Genshin
actor.
Impact name. It's
Star Fox.
Arrow.
Oh, Eros. Oh my gosh. It's cool. I love the redesign. You know what's funny? I don't even know who's that weird looking. We should make that guy into our logo. That weird,
Fucking Patton Oswalt.
right?
Like
We don't
little-
know. Yeah, it's like it was weird, but and that's Thanos's. If you guys don't know, you probably do know. I don't know, but that's Thanos's brother.
I have hold on. Does that make Thanos a Celestial? I mean, an Eternal.
Yeah. Thanos is yes. Yeah, they all live. Titan is supposed to be the planet of the Eternals, right? So they
Shit.
yeah, they completely changed everything. That's where everybody lived at, right? Because the Eternals started off at Earth, right? And then there's different Eternals all around the galaxy. And so supposedly they're supposed to come together on Titan, right, and build a society. Thanos is just an Eternal with a deviant gene. That's how he was born. So he's kind of like the black sheep of the family. And then he falls in love with death in the comics, right? And so that's why, which I like this redesign better in the MCU, that he's doing it for like a certain reason, not just to impress death or something like that, right? So, he does kind of seem like a terrorist in a way, if you think about it, right? Thanos. Whereas Eros is this, charismatic character, and apparently like the father of love. I heard that somewhere. I don't know why, but we'll see, right? And Harry Styles, I think, will do a great job if he's the father of love, right?
I just feel like that's a loophole in a way, because like if Thanos was an Eternal, like why wouldn't I get like when they said like the Eternals don't interfere with human affairs or with Thanos because of without the deviants, right? Like they said like human conflicts are their own, right? But if Thanos is an Eternal and he's snapping half the universe, then he's taking away the energy needed to build a Celestial on Earth and other universes. So don't you think the Judge or the Celestials would have stepped in and took this motherfucker out so that they could like have other celestials. I don't know. It's just a loophole. There's a lot of loopholes
Well,
in this
that's the
movie.
thing. Again, it's not the exact origin. Like they could probably
Mm.
twist it in a certain way. We don't really know.
I think it was just weird that they threw like Harry Styles at the end and just like, hey, this is the brother of Thanos. I don't know. I feel like
I find that cool because he actually is an Eternal. That was cool.
I mean, it was cool. I do like his character, but I mean, I don't know. It's just weird that they threw it. There's a lot of weird things I have with this. If I'm being nitpicky, like that, and then like how the fuck did when they were doing the Unimind thing, like how the fuck did fucking Icarus and Sprite, how did their minds link? Because they didn't have the bracelet thing. Did you notice that?
I
That was
don't
a
know.
loophole.
I
Yeah,
don't
that was
know.
just weird.
I don't know.
And then like when fucking when Ajax fell on the ice, where the fuck did she get that shotgun from? did she just like manifest it or some shit?
Well, I mean, to their offense, the deviants were eating one of the workers there, but it did
Okay,
seem
but
weird
the
that it was
workers had
perfectly
shotguns?
placed. Well,
Like,
yeah,
what?
it's Alaska. There's wolves and stuff, but
And
it is
conveniently
perfectly
placed, right?
That part, yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of like a MacGuffin in a way. It's like little gripes I had with the movie, but
What it did,
I mean,
yeah, yep.
but I mean, overall, I did enjoy it for what it was.
I was gonna go back to that thing with exactly. I was gonna go back to the thing. If it does seem confusing, it's because they definitely changed a lot of the backstory that with Thanos and Eros and Titan, because Titan is supposed to be populated to hell with like different Eternals, and they're finding Eternals. Maybe we'll see in the future that they'll actually repopulate Eternals, or Titan. I'm sorry, with Eternal beings. So. Yeah, we need more lore. Again, this opens up a new possibility. It's very secluded because it's kind of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like if you guys remember, where it's like there's certain references, or like even like Netflix, Marvel. Most of the TV shows are just, except Disney Plus, most of the TV shows are like its own thing, right? So this is how it felt. So that's why I'm not sure
Yeah.
if it impacts the MCU universe that much.
It just opens up a lot of questions for me. Like
it opens up a lot of possibilities too.
Yeah, I mean, like one question I was like, okay, so like Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, he mentioned that he was a Celestial. So that's why I was saying like, how come like like all the Celestials look alike? Are they different? Like, does that make Peter Quill like half a Celestial, or like I don't know? It's just
Well, he
weird.
is,
And then,
yeah. Peter Quill is, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because he can hold an Infinity Stone. Does
But
that
then he
also mean
stopped.
like? Does that like the power scaling in the Marvel MCU now is like, do Infinity Stones even matter? Like, can they take out Celestials or like what or Eternals or whatever? I don't know. It's just interesting. And then like other thing I was thinking about was because we saw that little end credit scene in Shang-Chi with the 10 rings. So I was thinking like maybe Hephaestus made the rings or something because they're not
No,
vibranium
I don't
or
think
anything.
so. Yeah,
I don't know. It's
that's
just interesting to think about.
It's alien in origin. If anything, they're still alien.
Eternals
in
are
origin.
aliens.
Well, kind of.
And they kind of had the weird like gold like design on it too with the rings and everything. I don't know. It's just interesting to think about.
I'm not too sure. 'Cause there's a ping in a different planet. That's why. Unless Hephaestus took a vacation or whatever, Festus took a vacation somewhere.
I'm about to start a whole Reddit thread right now.
I don't know. I mean, there is there's a lot of I forgot what I was gonna say actually. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but like I said, it was interesting. I really liked the action scenes a lot. I think the fights were really cool. It picked up a lot more towards the end when like I said, there wasn't like a clear cut villain, so it's like I thought it was cool that like they're fighting they're fighting I can't say his name, Amethyst or whatever the fuck his name is. They're fighting Icarus, and then they're fighting the Deviants at the same time, right? So it's like everybody's got like their own agendas, right? And everybody thinks they're right. Because in a way everybody is right? Because like Icarus, he's just doing what he's a soldier, right? He's just doing what he's been raised to do for thousands of years, and who can blame him, right? It's like you tell like after like 1,000 years, you tell him like, all right, well, our mission is off. I'd be pissed the fuck off too. I'd be like, oh well, so we did this for nothing. I like wasted my life doing this, and then we're just gonna reset our minds. Like, no, fuck that shit. And then like the Deviants, I could understand because they're just trying to survive, right? They're just doing what they were made to do. And then the Celestials I get too, because like they're you kind of need them to expand the universe and create new life. So everybody's right in their own way. So
well, that's so
really,
beautiful too. That actually Icarus. That's exactly what you're saying. That's so beautiful that he actually figured out that there's a purpose that he's still on there. It's because of love, and that's why he felt so hurt at the end. I found that really beautiful.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and it's interesting that they posed the question. I was wondering like if the judge was gonna spare like Earth at the end, but he kind of like he like posed the question like is humanity worth really saving, right? And that's why I compare this to like Watchmen in a way, because Watchmen was also about like does humanity really deserve like a second chance, right? It's like do are we able are we are we defined like by our actions? Like do we like if we were left on our own with free will, would we destroy ourselves
fuck
in a way?
yeah.
I mean, obviously, yeah. But
He's
look
right.
look at the past couple of years.
Thanos and Hephaestus, whatever his name is,
Right,
Ashramini or whatever, is right.
right. And it was really sad too. Like there was like certain moments like Festus, like during Hiroshima. I thought those were like really heavy, right? Because you think about history and like all the shit that we've done. It's just heavy when you think about it. But yeah, it was great. It was a great cinematic cover. I definitely think it's a standalone from the Marvel MCU. Um, but I don't know. I just wish it would have connected more to the main MCU. But
I think it's a really revealing film too, because even the Celestials, they're colonizers, right? And so I
mhm.
mean, obviously on Earth, there's so
Don't scare
much
me
of
like
that.
that, colonizer.
There's so much of that, right? I mean, around that time when Druig felt that way, right? Basically, there was genocide happening, right? And that was the colonization going on there, and it speaks volumes. It just speaks volumes to us as a species. I really think it's a really poetic film, and I think there's so many themes interwoven within. So, is it very separate from the MCU? Yes, but it does open possibilities, as for example, again, Doctor Strange with magic, or I can't even think about it right now, or Guardians of the Galaxy, right, and more galactic empire, no, galactic cosmic scale, right? And so you have here obviously the Celestials. What does that open up? Fuck knows, but I guess more cosmic stuff, more cosmic goodies, but yeah, we'll wait and see. I really did enjoy the film. I think it was way too long. I don't feel like I want to see more about, like you said, like reference more famous MCU characters or just Marvel characters, right? And that's like an introduction, like for example Atlantis or something like that. Like mention that, right? Um, they could have thrown more of that in there, or show more about how the galaxy was created, right? I would have liked to see that, like the whole universe. I wanted to see more of that,
Yeah,
instead
like the
of
start of like Nova Prime or something, like all the planets from like Guardians or
yeah.
like Ego. Like we could have seen like Ego like when he started or something, just like bring it back, to the main
Right.
MCU.
Instead of just like showing a lot of like just the characters develop. But again, um I have to kind of give like my applause to Chloe Zhao for doing that too, because it's really like a character study, and like just like, as humans evolve, they evolved as characters as well, and really it really dug deep into human emotionality, and also like what we were
Like
just talking
family,
about
like
earlier. Yeah.
bonds,
And
like
even more than that.
transcending cultures, right?
Right. So
Hmm.
I felt like that was beautiful.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got so obviously like we mentioned like in the end credits scene, so Blade. I know that was the Mahershala Ali's voice, so you can't tell me otherwise unless that
That's
was
it.
Kang. But but yeah, so I don't know. I hope we're gonna see him. Well, they mentioned he might be in Morbius, so I hope we get to see him.
I don't know if he'll
But
be in Mobius. Like I really doubt that. He wasn't he wasn't a deleted scene. Morbius wasn't a deleted
hmm
scene from Blade 1. I don't know if you ever knew that, but like there was a deleted scene where Morbius was like standing on top of a rooftop, and that
oh
was the end.
really?
Yeah, that was a deleted
Oh
scene.
shit!
I don't know. That'll be interesting. Blade is due until like I think what, 2024,
I
2023.
think so. They said
So
there's gonna be a cross. I don't know if he's gonna be in Moon Knight or Moon Knight's gonna be in Blade, but there's definitely gonna be a crossover happening. I've heard.
that'll be cool. Yeah, it was really random for Blade to be here. Like I did not expect that of any movie.
I know.
It's like putting I don't know, like putting Captain America, or like what's the guy's name? Let me see. What's his name? Karun. What's his name? Karun.
Corona. Yeah.
And Guardians of the Galaxy for some reason. It's like it's really random, but
Right.
it's cool. I'm all for it. Whatever.
Right. And
I
then, like I
liked more
said,
the Star Fox thing though. That was my favorite.
yeah, like I said, like I'm predicting there might be like doing like a Marvel Knights thing, with all the underground, like darker characters. I hope one day we get like Punisher and Daredevil back. I would love to see that. And the next movie we got coming out is it No Way Home or is it
No Way Home.
Doctor
Yeah,
Strange?
no
Okay,
way.
yeah,
Yeah,
No Way Home.
that's next
So
month.
yeah, that's next month. So that's gonna be big. So it's been a great year for Marvel, I would say. It's definitely been different. I think after Endgame, I think there's a lot of room to like experiment and like bring to light different characters, which is I like what they're doing with these characters. I think they're really like giving them due credit. But yeah, we'll have to see what the future bring, and then we got Disney Plus Day coming up. So that's on November 12th, or is that Disney Investors? I don't even know at this
Disney
point,
Plus Day is November 12th. We're not too sure what we'll see on that day, but it's definitely a celebration of the streaming service. And you guys could also check out the reflections that we'll be doing as well. And if there's anything that comes out in Disney Plus Day, be sure to check us out here on this channel. If not, follow our social media accounts as well. We'll be covering stuff when we can. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely check it out. If you haven't already followed us, you can see our other movie reviews and all the other things we talk about on this channel. So please give us a like, a share, anything. Takes 2 seconds to. We greatly appreciate it, guys. And then yeah, like next episode is gonna be our Disney Plus Day reaction, so you won't want to miss that. And with all the new content coming with that. But until next time, guys. Thanks for having lunch with us.
See you guys.